Your asset protection plan is a critical element of your financially well-organised strategy. Asset protection is about ensuring your assets are owned in the correct entity so that you minimise their exposure to creditors. When considering your asset protection plan, you need to consider what assets are owned in what entities, whether it's within a company, within a trust, a superannuation fund, a partnership, or in your own name. Each of these different entities have got different risks associated to them when it comes to asset protection. Getting your assets into the right structures and understanding the implications of your asset ownership in your current structure is critical to making sure that your asset protection plan does just that. It protects your assets. Let's start with a company. So a company provides limited liability protection to its shareholders, in that the liabilities of a company are only exposed to the assets of that company. Therefore, when considering owning an asset, be it a passive asset or a business asset within a corporate structure, you need to consider the implications and the exposure that these assets then have to other assets. Often it's important to make sure that you don't maintain and own your passive assets in the same entity as your business assets and expose those passive assets to the risks of business. Trusts are entities that separate the legal owners from the beneficial owners of an asset. So the legal owners are the trustees and the beneficial owners are the beneficiaries. In a trust, a trustee is responsible for the liabilities that it incurs on behalf of the trust and is entitled to be indemnified out of the assets of the trust. A beneficiary of the trust is not exposed to the assets of the trustee. With superannuation funds, your superannuation is generally safe from creditors. There are some limited circumstances where creditors may get access to superannuation. However, in the main, your superannuation is very well protected. Therefore, ownership of assets within super in some instances may be a very beneficial ownership strategy when it comes to asset protection. If you have assets in your own name and you're also a partner in a partnership, then you need to understand the implications that may have. So in a partnership, all partners are what's called jointly and severally liable for all of the liabilities of the partnership. So if the partnership's liabilities were $1 million and you owned a 50% interest in that partnership, if the other partner can't contribute to the debts of that partnership and you can, then you could find yourself being liable for all of those debts. So care needs to be taken with the use of partnerships. Or if you own those assets in your name and you are able to be sued as a director of a company, then those assets may also be exposed. There are limited circumstances in which a director can be sued for the liabilities of a company. So rest assured that as we consider your entire financially well-organised plan, we will always incorporate your asset protection strategy. If you'd like to run through your asset protection strategy with us at any time, just let us know.